My grandmother passed away in 2007 from pancreatic cancer. So I was born out of wedlock, and they got married. Marriage didn't work in. My mom just wasn't really a part of my life. My dad won a custody battle, and there he was, 20 years old with a 3-year-old. No, he was 23 with a 3-year-old, and basically my grandmother stepped in and helped raise me. She was like my rock, and my dad was, of course, my dad was there, and was a big part of my life. But my grandparents were a big deal, and she was pretty much the one that showed me everything, and she's always there. My dad, remarried eventually, and had, I have my brother and sister that are 5 and 6 years older than me. So, there was a lot of times that he was off with the two of them, and, I was kind of like being older. It was my grandparents, and she always came to my sports, and she just meant the world to me. It was really, obviously shocking. It was kind of like, it was in the summer of 2007. My husband and I, we had a 2-year-old at the time. We were supposed to go on vacation. She lives in Massachusetts. We were living in Connecticut at the time, and it was like, we were going to be picking her up for vacation and go up to the Poconos. And I remember her calling me and saying that she didn't feel good. And this was like 2 weeks prior to vacation, and she had had a stomach ache for several weeks. She was always like a nervous person. She had 3 sons, put her through all kinds of things growing up, and we never thought anything of it. So I told her, I said, just go to the doctor. It says it's not like it's going to be cancer or anything. I literally said that to her. And she called me, I remember she called me in June and told me that, they did a CAT scan on her and they found that she had pancreatic cancer. And I honestly, I don't know, I kind of feel like the bottom fell out from underneath me. And, I didn't know anything about pancreatic cancer at the time. And for me, I basically watched her starve to death. And she died 10 weeks later. It was the most devastating thing that I've ever been through in my life. I basically ended up coming across this push-pull project thing and kind of didn't really know what it was. Actually, Tammy, is the box owner, is the one that came across it. She had kind of set it aside, and I kind of accidentally came across it. She didn't know, put 2 and 2 together, and she had meant to put it up on the board. And I was kind of sifting through, and I saw push-pull, and I saw Project Purple, and I saw pancreatic cancer, and right away it was like my eyes just like widened, because I had never seen any kind of fundraising for pancreatic cancer. You don't see it. It's like you get it and then you're gone. You get it and then you're gone. And with the strides that we've made with other cancers and things like that, whatever, I believe that we can make a huge dent in it. It's awesome because I felt helpless. I felt like my hands were tied behind my back and I couldn't do anything for her. She got the diagnosis, and not being of one of her children, not being able to educate my father and his 2 brothers and being able to sit in on that and on the doctor's appointments, and not really knowing much about the cancer, I probably would have made her fight. I think I think out of fear of that, you hear chemotherapy and you think I'm going to get sick, and so she chose quality of life over quantity of life. I don't know if that was the right decision that was made, but I think that I was helpless. I couldn't do anything, and I think that was probably the hardest thing that I had to get over. So for me, if you can raise awareness, and I do believe that money is important or whatever, but I think just talking about it and getting it out there, and you just have to keep gnawing away at it. You have to be relentless about it, and like until that one person hears about it, you know what I mean? And then it's like, even if it helps one person, I've had people ask me questions about it, and I myself need to educate myself a little bit more on it, but I learned a ton of stuff. I learned how to put on a fundraising event. Like, I was scared. I was nervous. I'm like, I'm like, not about like coaching CrossFit or, but it was like the shirt order, and like, I'm a perfectionist and I'm hard on myself, and it was a really great learning experience. But for me or whatever, I kind of felt like I finally did something, or I'm finally doing something, if you will. Because I do believe that this is going to be a yearly event for us, if I have anything to